Good afternoon and welcome to the daily video check-in for today, Thursday, August 27th. We are making our way through the month of Elul, this month of preparation and self-reflection as we prepare for the high holidays, the days of Awe, Rosh Hashanah, and Yom Kippur. So far, we've looked at the 27th Psalm, that theme of Elul, as well as Hashivenu, one of the seminal texts really for this whole period of reflection and through the high holidays. We're going to look at one of the most important texts of Yom Kippur in just a moment, which we actually get really two shots at. We get it as part of Yom Kippur, but we also get it on Slichot, which is that Saturday night before Rosh Hashanah, which is kind of a lovely introduction to the high holidays, where nearing the end of the month of Elul, we almost have a practice run at Yom Kippur. So many of the same themes and music are present, but in a much more intimate setting before we get to the kind of grandeur of the actual high holidays of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. So Shema Kolenu is what we're going to look at today, which is really a wonderful piece of liturgy, and I'll explain why in just a moment, why I think so highly of it. First of all, Shema Kolenu, I mentioned, we say it on Yom Kippur. It's an important part of the liturgy, and we say it on Slichot, but it's actually part of our weekday regular worship. It's part of what's known as the Amidah, that middle section of prayer. We might say Shema Kolenu really every day of the week. We don't say it on Shabbat because it's what's known as a petitionary prayer. It's asking God, Shema Kolenu, hear our voice. Now, the grammar of that is quite important, and this is what is so vital about this prayer. Shema Kolenu literally means Shema, just like Shema Yisrael, listen, hear. Kolenu means kol is voice, and that nu at the end means us, our, but it's not kolotenu, it's not our voices, it's not asking for God to hear each one of us, but rather asking for God to hear our communal voice. It's really an interesting kind of grammatical interpretation that we speak as one community, and of course we have our individual voices, and of course we have our individual needs and our individual sins that we're atoning for, and all sorts of things that are unique to each one of us. But we also ask for God's help as a community at times. So there's an interesting balance between the individual and the communal, and I think Shema Kolenu really reflects that. So at this most important time of year, when we are asking God to inscribe us in the book of life, we ask it in a way that we look out for one another. I don't just ask for me to be inscribed in the book of life, and you don't just ask for you, but rather we ask for God to hear our voice as we pray with sincerity. With that in mind, the musical setting that I want to sing for you combines the traditional role of the cantor, which was to actually sing on behalf of the congregation. The cantor would sing the proper liturgy, fulfill the legal requirements of the prayers, because certainly in days before the printing press, the congregation might not have even known all the prayers and didn't have a book to read them from. But even in later times, once we all had the book, it was often that we would listen to the cantor say certain prayers on the community's behalf. These days, we have much more of a blend of, yes, that role of the cantor, but really the cantor helping to bring the voices of the community to life, not just in lieu of, but rather together with. So what I'm going to do is combine a little bit of traditional chanting of this text, which might be traditional cantorial style, but we're going to sing a wordless nigun that we will also sing on the high holidays I will invite each of you to learn. It's not very difficult, so that we can truly say Shema Kolenu, hear our voice as we sing together. So the wordless tune, this wordless nigun, goes like this. Yai dai 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 ya dai 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 Yai, dai, 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 dai. Shema Koleinu, Adonai Eloheinu, Chus v'rachem aleinu, v'kabel v'rachamim, uv'ratzon et tefilateinu. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Ya, lai, 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 lai. Lai, 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 lai. Hear our call, hear our voice. Adonai our God, show us compassion, accept our prayer with love and goodwill. Yai, dai, 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 dai.